As most people are aware, Donald Trump is suing Twitter for kicking him off of their platform. But what most people may not know is that Donald Trump's lawyers have gone to court, and they're actually arguing in front of the court that Trump should be reinstated because Twitter clearly has a bias against conservatives. Not exactly a stellar legal argument on its face, but hey, they got a plan to get around it, don't you worry. Because they know their argument is so weak, they have decided apparently to lie in their court filings to bolster their claims. And that is exactly what happened recently. Let me read this to you. This is according to Raw Story. And this is exactly from what Twitter's lawyers wrote in court as a response to Trump's lawyers' filings. Here it is. Similarly unavailing is plaintiffs' attempt to establish conspiracy based on a memo, apparently written by congressional staffers, that plaintiffs falsely portray as having stated that, quote, platforms often ramp up their efforts against conservative content in response to social and political pressure. In fact, the memo refers not to conservative content, but to misinformation and extreme content. So they lied about the quote. They changed the one word, right? They took out misinformation and extreme and changed it to conservative. Now, let's be clear. In most instances, those really are interchangeable, right? It is the conservatives, we know this, reports have shown it, that are responsible for most of the misinformation and extreme content on social media. It's just a fact. But changing it in a court filing, saying that this is what these congressional staffers said, that's lying. And of course, that changes the entire meaning of what was actually said. If the social media companies had said, as the congressional aides said they said, it sounds weird, but trust me, that's how it goes. Hey, yeah, social media companies are trying to cut back and moderate misinformation and extreme content, versus social media companies are trying to moderate conservative content. Those technically mean two very different things. One with political ramifications, one with, hey, we're trying to cut down on people being stupid and hateful. Again, a lot of overlap, but technically different. These lawyers, in my opinion, have clearly lied to the court. That is absolutely unacceptable to see this happening with these lawyers lying in their court filing. Again, they changed the word. I don't know how else to classify that other than they lied to the court. They should be held in contempt of court. I think that's a given. You're not allowed to lie in a court filing. You can actually face pretty serious legal ramifications from this. And I think as a result of the lying in the filing, the judge should immediately dismiss the case. They should go ahead and issue a judgment in favor of Twitter. And then, of course, Twitter should be able to sue Donald Trump to recover their legal costs. This is nuts, folks. They have such a weak, pathetic argument that the only thing they can do, the only thing, is lie. They know they're going to lose this case anyway, so why not just make some crap up? This is absolutely something that we should consider to be legal malpractice. These lawyers knew better. They had the original quote. They phonied it up to make it look like these congressional staffers said something that wasn't true. And then they tried to use that as the entire basis for their lawsuit.